Welcome back, everybody, to the Success Partner Podcast. I am your host, Daya Naef. And today we have in the studio Sam Tanios. And we have been having a great time before the show talking about fractional HR as a rebellion. So Sam is really playing into the American dream, being just that, being the soul of companies and small businesses in his work with small businesses. And Sam, just tell us a little bit more about that. I have some great ideas for where this conversation can go, but we just want to continue what we were just talking about.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I talk about the HR rebellion, and really, it's more of a small business rebellion. I think the HR, and I grew up as an immigrant here, and watched my parents. My dad had 4 jobs, and my mom had 2. My dad worked at Arby's making sandwiches and drove a cab, in addition to being an accountant. At a bank and at a CPA firm. So, I mean, these are, this is, you did what you had to do in order to achieve the American dream, and they did it. But the biggest problem that they had wasn't, getting things done. It was having people around them that could do it and help them achieve that. And that was their employees. And they struggled with that. And I saw that as a major struggle for a lot of organizations. And so in my career, I've really paid attention to a lot of how that actually works. And most of my career has been around that. A former owner of a PEO, which for those organizations or those people that don't know what it is, it's called a professional employer organization, and it was designed to help small businesses. But what we wound up doing is getting them cheaper benefits, not really, addressing what was most important for them, which was their soul, who they were. And a lot of the HR solutions that are out there today, whether it comes from payroll companies or consultants or managed services or PEOs or wherever it comes from, it always strips away what is the most important part of an organization, especially small organization, in a country where we believe in coming up from nowhere, that we want the underdog to win, and we can't do that anymore. And part of the reason is that we've standardized everything for them. That this is the way you have to work. This is the way you have to be. This is what your business has to be. And for those people that want to build something and leave a legacy behind of who they are and what they were all about, that doesn't happen anymore this way. It's sad to me, and it makes me angry. And that's the cause for my rebellion. Is we don't need to take this anymore. We don't need to standardize employees. We want to bring employees and employers closer together. We want to match their vision, mission, principles, core values, what makes them tick, and the statistics are there. I don't have to repeat them. People can go out to anywhere and find out what happens to an organization when their employees become evangelists, not just there for a paycheck. And the results are amazing. And this is what we really want to see. This is what made us who we are. And I think that has been taken away, and I want to bring it back.
I mean, growth and scale, it really does come from the employees taking empowerment and ownership or responsibility of the firm and the company as it's growing. Yeah. So, HR, it seems very paperwork. It seems very compliance driven and very kind of, I hate to say it, dry and boring, but your passion obviously is showing through, and you're helping companies protect their culture. And so what does that look like? Can you give me an example?
Yeah, so I'll give you an example from the legal field. So I've been working with smaller law firms, really trying to. They're having struggles finding the right associates and the right support teams to help them to grow. And so in one particular firm, about 6 or 7 employees, maybe 8, and they were struggling trying to find associates. I mean, every associate they found was, not a great fit. They really didn't do what they couldn't do what they said they could do, or what they have done. They get dozens and dozens of resumes, and they just don't have time to go through them. They're billing anywhere between $400 and $800 an hour, and you're spending 10 to 20 hours a month sifting through resumes. I mean, it doesn't make economic sense. So they asked me, what can we do? How can we do this better? And so, I kind of took this on as a pet project, just to kind of show them what strategy looks like and why it's important. So I asked them to show me their job ad, and they showed it to me. Very, very vanilla. And then I asked them to show me the job description, and it was basically the job description just with compensation information in it. And I thought, all right, well, this isn't really telling me anything. It's show me your website, show me your about page. Tell me why you did this in the first place. Why did you go out on your own and a bigger firm and do this? And so they shared this why story with me about how they what happened in their personal life and how that impacted the type of law that they wanted to practice and how they wanted to practice it. And I thought, well, why doesn't your ad say this? So they're like, well, we're just looking for associates. People, even lawyers, have emotions, right?
Right.
One hopes that they do, right? So people want to buy. The people buy on emotion. So if you're treating your employees differently than you treat your clients or your customers, then you're missing out here, because these are buyers as well. They are buying into your culture, your vision, your values, your principles, who you are as a firm. And that needs to be part of that. So we completely redrafted the job ad and included the vision, core values, et cetera, all of these things. And it wasn't really that difficult. And we used an AI tool to do it. So, it's not rocket science here, but you need to know what to tell the prompt, what we're trying to accomplish with this.
Right. Yeah.
So we built a phenomenal job ad.
I love it.
It's already been posted. They've already gotten 7 candidates that they really like.
Yeah.
Right. In a short amount of time. And, so I showed them before they posted it. So here's your job ad, and here's the job ad that we crafted here with AI. Mm-hmm. Where would you rather work? And I said, hands down, this one. This resonates with me, obviously, because this is my firm. But yes, this is I would rather have work here than at this place. So okay, so now we've already established the fact that you've had an emotional response. Somebody else out there is going to have the same type of emotional response and want to apply here. Now, we've solved how to start getting resumes in. Now, how do we start sorting through these? Again, using an AI tool, AI prompt, we put in the job description, the job ad, the various other components into this prompt. The prompting is probably the most critical part of any kind of AI tool. So we did a pretty thorough job of creating a way to review resumes 10 at a time and give you an analysis of what you're actually looking at. So now they got a report on every single candidate that came in that gave them, how closely to this job ad does this individual actually resonate? How close are they? And we included the LinkedIn connection in there as well, so we get their LinkedIn data, and just to kind of get an idea of what this person is all about, and give them a way of being able to identify, okay, well, these are the people that are the most tightly correlated to who and what we are and what we're looking for. And now, instead of spending hours and hours and hours going through resumes that, quite honestly, they showed me some of these resumes. And if I could give anybody a piece of advice, there is no reason for a 4-page resume at all. I don't care how long you've been in the industry. You really don't. So I would suggest to anybody that's applying for jobs,
Short,
your resume game is important. Yeah,
short and focused. Yes.
exactly. But sifting through all of that information was
So much.
extremely time consuming. So we gave them the tool to be able to do that. And again, it really comes down to, how do you ask the questions? What the prompting, again, being everybody wants to use ChatGPT, some sort of AI tool to make things faster. Okay, well, that's great, but you have to know what you want to ask for. You have to be very specific, and you have to tell it exactly how you want everything laid out, what you want to look for, what's most important, what isn't important, how do you evaluate all of these things. It takes a lot to get the prompting right, but once it's right, now you can start running candidates through that, and or your resume through that. And again, giving you summaries, identifying gaps for you, providing some questions that you can ask, open-ended questions that you can ask about these particular gaps in resumes, or maybe incongruencies with certain things, whatever it might be. But now you have the ability to be able to use that tool effectively to identify the candidate that you really want. So again, it's all about refining. It's all about trying to shrink down the variabilities that you come across. Again, adding in other tools, assessments, et cetera, that kind of thing really gives you the ability to be able to hire better. But again, those tools, understanding how they work, why they work that way, it's paramount to be able to do that. So that's kind of one example of something that we did for a client that they weren't even really a client, quite honestly. Again, this was more
a project.
Yeah. I get frustrated with people that, like, okay, I'm showing you what you're, where the errors, where's the disconnect here? Why, this is what we're working on. And to be honest, I shouldn't be angry, upset or frustrated, because they just don't know, right? They've got other things, bigger fish to fry than trying to find candidates. And so, we've created that methodology for them to be able to do that. So it's been very, very successful for this firm. And we're going to be piloting this again with another client of ours here shortly.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, you're building the firm, and I love when they read it and said, oh, this is my firm. So the candidate will also be the right candidate. Right candidates would also be reading it and go, this is my firm. This is my new home. This is where I want to land and grow. Smaller firms, they can't compete on price, can't just throw them a better benefits package. They really have to get candidates that are going to buy into the mission of the firm and be there for the long haul. And then also like the prompting, garbage in, garbage out. That was sort of the old adage. Even when computing first came around, it was garbage in, garbage out. And now it's exponential because AI is so powerful.
Absolutely.
Well, Sam, this has been a wonderful conversation. How do people find you to learn more?
Yeah, I would encourage everyone to go to humanelements.us. So that's human with elements, multiple elements with an S, .us. You can reach me by email, usually is the best way. And my email address is samt@humanelements.us. And look me up on LinkedIn. I'm always looking to connect with great people. Love to have conversations, and this is my why statement. So I love what we do, and I love how we do it, and I'm looking forward to connecting with anybody that wants to further the conversation and further the cause.
That's great, Sam. Thank you so much for being on the show today. And thank you, listeners. This has been another episode of the Success Partner Podcast. I'm your host, Daya Naef. Please like, subscribe, and stay tuned.